McCoy noted that the EU mission commended Guyana for a smooth, peaceful, and professionally run election, crediting reforms implemented since 2022. Yet, he said the report that shifts to the familiar claim that incumbency itself provides an undue advantage, as though effective governance becomes questionable once campaign season begins.
The European Union's final report on the 2025 elections sit in that uncomfortable space. It praises the process, professionalism, reforms, peaceful atmosphere, and competence of polling staff. Then it pivots to the familiar refrain, the advantage of the incumbency, as if good governance must be treated as a form of misconduct once an election year arrives.
The minister argued that this logic suggests the government should shrink its presence, cutting back outreach, slowing development projects, and avoiding even routine duties to avoid criticism. Activities like opening public buildings, supporting farmers, or holding community engagements were cast as potential abuses of office, which he said is unrealistic and inconsistent with democratic norms. Comparing Guyana's situation to practices in Europe, McCoy said governments there openly campaign on their performance, launch new programs, and highlight accomplishments without being accused of exploiting state resources. Only in Guyana, he added, does effective governance risk being treated with suspicion.
Governments in Europe campaign on results. They launch programs, highlight achievements, cut ribbons, and claim credit for their work. Nobody pauses progress to soothe the opposition. This public judges a government by what it delivers, not by how quietly it retreats into an election. Here,
McCoy also pointed to what he called inconsistencies in the EU report, noting that the activities questioned by observers are practiced across the political spectrum. Opposition parties freely ran outreach programs, mobilized support, and in one case, the Win Party even engaged in vote buying. He added that several media houses amplified opposition narratives, yet criticism seemed directed only at the government's routine actions. While welcoming the EU's call for clearer guidelines on state resources and campaign conduct, McCoy warned that portraying ordinary governance as problematic during an election year risks weakening the very institutions observers praised. Infrastructure, healthcare, education, and social services, he said, are basic responsibilities of the state, not election year privileges. Reaffirming Guyana's respect for its partnership with the EU, McCoy said all recommendations will be viewed carefully, but cautioned that any model that forces a government to, quote, step into the shadows, unquote, every 5 years would harm progress and disadvantage citizens who rely on continuous services.